Hey, mic check, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Morning, and thanks so much for joining us for After GMS. Today is Wednesday, October 28th. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris in studio. Stacey Spivey is working from home, and meteorologist Triad Kirksey is in the weather garden.
Yeah, Triad, busy next few weather days, a warm up and a lot of rain, and then a big cool down for Halloween.
That's right, a little bit of everything here on the extended forecast. So let's go ahead and show it to you out there this morning. We do have a lot of fog as we go through the day. The cloud cover will continue to thicken up, and we'll see the chance of a few showers with high temperatures in the low 70s. And then we'll watch the remnants of Zeta move through on Thursday. It's going to be a windy day, wind gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour, and a decent amount of rainfall, especially if you live in the foothills. High temperatures in the 70s. Cold front moves through early Friday, and then that clears out all that rain and whatnot just in time for the weekend. We'll see lots of sunshine on Saturday, maybe an isolated shower on Sunday. Right now those rain chances look very, very low, with highs all weekend long in the 50s and lows in the 30s. We'll talk more about Hurricane Zeta's impacts here in the Triad coming up in just a few minutes.
You know, Taran, you're talking about the forecast, and I couldn't see the city of Greensboro. Now we've switched the camera to the city of Burlington, and it looks a little bit better. So I guess depending on where you are, you're working up to dense conditions.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There are a few spots where it's really thick, and others, just like Burlington, you actually can see your hand in front of your face. So that's certainly a good thing.
Yeah, and I don't know what was happening with the moon this morning, but it really looked kind of spooky. On my way to work, I noticed it had a yellow tint. Well, it was beautiful, but it was like this foggy haze and then this yellow tint, and I don't think it was a full moon, Taran, but it looked seasonal, if there's such a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, we'll have a full moon on a Halloween night, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that kind of haze that you saw is the fog starting to develop through the middle of the night, and it just got thicker and thicker as we got closer to sunrise. So it did look a little spooky out there this morning for sure.
That's so funny. You're like spooky. I'm like, it was so beautiful. But yeah, you know, I'm still getting some slack for not having watched Hocus Pocus. So, you know, I will take that with a grain of salt. All right. So speaking of the spooky moons and all of that, Halloween is this weekend. Before you know it, Thanksgiving will be here. But in our first conversation this morning, Stacey, health officials have another warning about your Thanksgiving plans. Uh-oh, doesn't sound good.
Well, before I get to that, I just want to mention that something that we had in the Good Morning show, there's actually going to be a blue moon this Halloween night. It's going to be the last time that you can see a blue moon on Halloween until the year 2039. So maybe that's why the moon is starting to look creepy. It's kind of working up till Halloween day. But just had to get in that little side note for you guys. But as we think about Halloween, we also have to talk about Thanksgiving. And because of the Canadians' Thanksgiving, you may want to reevaluate your plans after what they experienced up there. Yes, they do have a Thanksgiving as well. Their holiday falls actually on the second Monday in October. And health and government officials there gave the same warning that our officials have given us when it comes to the holiday. They say keep celebrations to people in your household. But Canada apparently didn't do that. They're now seeing a surge in cases after their Thanksgiving, and officials there blame family gatherings for the holiday. So this morning we are asking you, what are your Thanksgiving plans, or have you even made them yet? Maybe you're waiting to see how those COVID-19 cases will look.
All right, so I asked you guys about this on my Facebook page, and a lot of you weighed in. Here's some of the responses. We heard from Elizabeth, who said, keeping it here in Greensboro. Normally we would have gone to New York. Well, definitely staying closer to home. Betty said, it will be a very small gathering, and we'll catch up here with the prods in just a few minutes, but we'll continue on here. She said no traveling is taking place. We heard from Kim, who said, I'm going to wait and see for a couple more weeks before deciding. And when it comes to Christmas, we heard from one viewer who said, we are purchasing webcams for all of our family members who don't have one so we can be together, and shipping gifts early marked do not open until Christmas. Very smart, very clever.
Yeah, I love that idea about the webcams, but I think it's going to still be a challenge to try to teach some of our older family members how to use some of that technology, which I think is one of the challenges that's going to present itself this holiday season, being so unprecedented. You know, in some degree, it's kind of nice being just at home with immediate family and remembering the reason for the season without feeling like you're running from house to house. At the same time, maybe grandparents, great-grandparents will be missing out on seeing their little ones dress up in their festive holiday attire because they don't have the technology or don't know how to use it to be able to participate in something like a Zoom gathering. So it's kind of a catch-22, I think.
All right, so Taran, have you even started thinking about Thanksgiving? I'm not saying that men are usually procrastinators at all. I'm not saying that, but I'm just curious about your plans.
I've started to think about it a little bit. We've talked a little bit about, you know, maybe what we want to eat for Thanksgiving, but as far as having any get-togethers or not, probably not. I mean, we usually just, you know, have dinner at home most of the time, since neither one of us, my wife and I, don't live anywhere near home. So, you know, we probably do a little bit of that, and if the food's good, like it usually is, I'll try to watch the football game, but I'll probably fall asleep from the itis before we get through the second or third quarter.
The turkey-itis that you don't eat?
Well, you can still get it from ham and dressing too, believe it or not. I can't
tryptophan
confirm
in
that.
ham? I don't know.
Ham is delicious.
I think it's the amount that you eat, maybe.
I agree.
All right, Stacey, people are really sounding off online. Give us a few comments here. Give us an idea of what people are saying.
Well, Bobby says he's going to have a small gathering for Thanksgiving dinner and watch football. And Nadine says just normal plans for her family. She said getting with the family the weekend before, then a Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving Day. Janet said, I'm going to have my kids over and the rest of my family. I'm going to cook and take them plates of food so they won't be left out. I cook every Thanksgiving for everyone. That's great, Janet. Wanda says no plans for Thanksgiving. And Michelle said she's not gathering with her family. So a lot of people changing their plans or really not changing a thing. It really seems to be one way or the other.
Yeah, like Leanne, who said, you know, she's not changing a thing for Thanksgiving. She says, I don't live in fear. And then Frankie said, I'm not changing my plans for the for people who are trying to ruin America. So, I mean, there are different, you know, sides of this debate. And, you know, depending on how you weigh in, you're going to decide what's best for your family. You know, we just, it's always interesting to hear the experts' advice and then to see what happens after that. So we still have about a month until Thanksgiving or so. So you still have some time to figure it all out.
And as we discussed this morning, I think, Taran, weather is going to play a huge role. A lot of folks feel a little more comfortable having outside gatherings than inside gatherings. We've had very warm Thanksgivings in the past. We've also had very cold Thanksgivings in the past.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of a coin flip at this point, that far out. You know, obviously, if the weather is nice, we have lots of sunshine, temperatures above average, maybe in the 70s or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier to have you know, maybe some more people at the house, you can spread out, be outside. But if it's the type of day where it's cold and rainy or something like that, and you're going to want to stay inside, then that might cause some people to decide to keep things a little bit smaller. But I mean, like you said, with technology, and if you can, you know, get everyone on board where they understand how to work it, it can fill in the gaps, in my opinion, to have that connection without actually having people in your house. But you know, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, well, it's good to connect. I mean, that's why I think we think of the holidays, right, as a way to get together. Not only is it a tradition, but it's also, you know, that family time. You know, you usually go around the whole year waiting for these moments where you can be with family. So things might be different for you this year. I know in my house it probably will, but I like keeping things small anyway. We just enjoy each other's company. And then when I yell at my kids, my family's not judging me. See? See how that works?
I mentioned on the Good Morning Show, my extended family just recently had a Halloween Zoom call, and my aunt asked everybody to dress up. And at first I was like, do we have to dress up for a virtual get-together? But I'm glad we did, because it was so much fun. We played games, and it really just felt like we were still connected, even from miles apart, and these situations that prevent us from being able to safely see each other face to face. So just an idea, something to consider.
Yeah, real quick before we get to your morning headlines, Frankie just added, how about remembering to feed the homeless? Are we going to not feed them this Thanksgiving and Christmas? So something else to think about while instead of having your large gatherings, maybe take that extra food to a shelter or someplace that could use them.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, good job, Frank.
All right, at 7:54, let's check our morning headlines before we get into this second talker here. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools updated its reentry plan, and a small number of students will go back to their classrooms next week. Pre-K students will return November 2nd, then kindergartners on November 9th. First grade will be back in class on November 16th. Parents can decide to keep students learning remotely if they wish. The school board will meet next month to decide when the older students will return. Guilford County families could know that district's reentry plans by the end of this week. After some delays last week, the school board will meet again this Friday. For now, the earliest students could start in-person classes November 4th. Just 6 more days till Election Day. Can you believe it? President Donald Trump will be back in North Carolina tomorrow campaigning here. He'll stop at a rally at the airport in Fayetteville. That event will get underway at 6:30. Today, the Biden-Harris campaign will get support from the rapper Common in North Carolina. He'll be out canvassing in Greensboro and pushing for people to get to the polls to early vote. He'll also play a March to the Polls show at North Carolina A&T State University later tonight.
The unemployment rate in North Carolina jumped up a bit last month to 7.3%. One field in need of workers, school systems. WFMY News 2's Candace Red has details on jobs that are available within the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools is partnering with Goodwill and the careers website Indeed.com to hold a drive-through career fair. We know that both full-time and part-time opportunities are available with the school system. Well, that includes groundskeepers, painters and paint crew leaders, HVAC and general building technicians, pest control workers, energy managers, and more. There's also a high demand for bus drivers and bus driver assistants at this time. Well, the school district has more than 92 job openings for bus drivers and more than 370 openings for bus driver assistants. Well, anyone applying to be a bus driver must be at least 18 years old, have a valid North Carolina driver's license, and meet other legal and safety requirements.
We want to not only transport our students, but transport them safely in the pandemic. So we actually added this role, a bus driver assistant. That way we have some extra support for people to fill out forms when their children get on the bus. Also to keep people in their right seats so that we have as much social distance as possible within the bus.
Bus driver assistants are met with a list of responsibilities to ensure student safety, especially amid the COVID-19 crisis. Well, that includes collecting student forms, assisting with seating charts, loading and unloading buses, cleaning and disinfecting, and much more. A registration is required for the drive-through job fair. Attendance is limited, so applicants must register on Indeed.com to participate. Candidates should also dress professionally and be sure to bring an updated resume. Taking a look at your screen so I can make sure you have all of the details. Again, the drive-through job fair will be held on Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Parkland High School in Winston-Salem. For more details, simply visit our website, WFMYnews2.com.
All right, let's get to our next conversation here. Hurricane Zeta is headed straight for the Gulf Coast with expected landfall in Louisiana. Then the remnants will make their way towards the Triad tomorrow. So we want to know what questions you might have about the forecast. Before we get to those questions, Triad, kind of give us an idea of what Louisiana is dealing with today and then tomorrow for us.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll go ahead and jump right in here. There, what you're looking at right, I don't know what I was saying there. That was not even a sentence.
You're good.
You are looking at Hurricane Zeta right there in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, kind of a ragged eye right now, but it is getting a little bit stronger. Max sustained winds up to 90 miles per hour. The outer rain bands already starting to move onshore in southeast Louisiana. It will make landfall likely as a Category 2 hurricane later on today. And then you see it's going to be moving pretty quickly. By the time we reach tomorrow morning, the center of circulation is going to be tracking out of Alabama on into Georgia, and then through the day it'll track. And as that happens, it's also going to merge with a cold front. And sometimes when you have a tropical system merge with a cold front, it can enhance the winds just a bit. Remember when we had Hurricane Michael and we had those stronger winds with the remnant of that system as it merged with a cold front? I don't know if the winds will be that strong, but we're still talking about 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. That's strong enough to cause some power outages for sure. As far as rain is concerned, the heaviest of the rainfall is going to be closer to the center in the foothills and in the mountains, where you can see 2, maybe 3 inches of rain. As you track to the east, those rain totals will start to decrease, maybe only around ½ an inch to an inch for the Triad. We also can't rule out the threat of a couple of severe thunderstorms as the main core of that system moves through during the midday and afternoon hours. And then there's going to be an upper level system that moves through Thursday night. And depending on how things shake out, there could be a kind of a sneaky severe weather risk at that point for a couple of hours before a cold front moves through and it clears everything out just in time for the weekend. I'll show you the 7-day really quickly at the end of the, I'll show it to you right now. There it is right there. It looks better for the weekend. That's it.
All right. You say that's it, but it's a lot to kind of go through. All right. So, Stacy, you asked on our feed here about questions. Have we gotten any yet?
Yeah, we actually have one good question from Amy. She said, just what are the chances for power outages with kids doing school online? We don't need to lose power while they are online. So what's that timeline looking like, Triad?
I certainly think that there could be power outages. The winds will probably start to pick up somewhat as we go through the morning. We're talking about 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts and get stronger from there midday through the afternoon and then start to wane as we go on into Thursday night. So at its peak, likely, let's say midday through mid-afternoon, that's when we can see our best chance of wind gusts. 40 plus, but as I mentioned, a few spots. Oh, there's a bee out here. Actually, it's a yellow jacket. It's flying around me. We actually could see a few wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. I heard a little buzz and I looked down and I saw it. We could see those wind gusts at their peak probably as we go through the afternoon. So unfortunately, it is the type of situation where you will want to make sure you stay weather aware, not only through the day on Thursday, but as I mentioned, there might be just a sneaky risk of a couple of severe storms as we go through Thursday night as the cold front itself moves on through. So a lot going on. I know, just stay weather aware all day Thursday and Thursday evening. The entire weather team will be around just kind of keeping an eye on things and keep you updated as necessary.
Triad, I have a question, but I want to make sure you're okay. Is that yellow jacket out of the way?
They're still flying around. There's 2
Oh,
of
I
them now.
see it. Oh, that's huge.
Yep.
Okay, well, just stay very still.
It'll be okay.
Okay, okay. Maybe it likes your cologne or something, I don't know. But how are we on rainfall totals for this year? It seems like lately we've been a little drier. I usually use my eyes as the gauge. I have a dry eye situation, and so I noticed lately they've been very irritated, and I would think that maybe that's because we've had less humidity, less rainfall. Is there anything to that?
Yeah, every time a cold front comes through, you know, the humidity just crashes. It just goes, you know, straight down. We have that really dry air in place. And You know, we've had several strong cold fronts move through over the past several weeks. As far as the rain totals for the entire year, I believe, if I can remember off the top of my head here, we're running above average. So this is just going to kind of add to that. I don't think we necessarily need the rain, especially not a whole lot at one time, but we're going to get it. We don't really have a choice. The highest rain totals will be in the mountains, though. There will be parts of our viewing area, especially as you go east of the Triad proper, that might not see a whole lot of rain from this system, and it's moving fast, which will help kind of limit the rain totals as well. I mean, it's going to be in and out of our neck of the woods, at least the core of the system, over the course of maybe like 8 hours or so, pretty fast.
Yeah, that's what Wanda said. She said, come on and blow through. Get it in, get her out.
Get it done.
So I know a lot of people, Turan, have been, you know, kind of overlooking the storm, but it is kind of significant for our area because Halloween is Saturday, so everybody's kind of like, oh, but I have to worry about these cold temperatures coming in. So it's kind of like you have to worry about something every day.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. You know, the main issue tomorrow is going to be the wind and the rain. Friday it clears out, and then the weekend's just going to be kind of chilly. In fact, high temperatures on Saturday. Right now we're forecasting mid-50s. Could be a little bit cooler than that. Low temperatures in the 30s Saturday night. I think during trick or treating time, temperatures probably in the 40s. So it's going to be a little bit on the cool side. If you are doing anything outside, if you decide to do that, then you will definitely want to bundle up. Sunday, maybe an isolated shower. I think we'll see a few more clouds on Sunday, but either way, it doesn't look too bad at all. And temperatures stay in the 50s for highs right on into Election Day. And right now, it looks like on Tuesday, there's not going to be any type of significant system anywhere across the country for Election Day. That's good news for sure for all the folks across the country that want to exercise their right to vote.
All right. Well, hey, thank you everybody for weighing in on this conversation. We've had a lot of fun talking with you today, getting your questions answered. We do this every day after GMS live on the Facebook page at 7:45.
All right, we will see you back here tomorrow for some more great conversations. In the meantime, take care and be safe.